Hey, how you doing? It's Khoa here. In this video, I just want to share with you a very powerful insight into the world of sales, and that is the power of ratios. I've been working in sales for quite some time. Been working for several years. I've sold millions of dollars worth of products, from engineering services, websites, membership services, and so forth. Right? So the list goes on. But anyway, there is something that I always seem to find in sales that is always existent. Like, for example, like every time when I do something, like for example, if I'm always talking to a lot of people, and in sales, I always see this one thing that stands out all the time, and that is ratios. Now, what is a ratio? Ratio essentially is it's a certain percentage. That's all it is, a certain percentage. So let's say that I were to pick up the phone and I were to talk to 100 people, a percentage will appear from that response. So let's say I were to measure how many people said yes to a second appointment, a percentage will appear. So I might, out of the 100 people that I talk to, I might get about 10 people, right, that will say yes. So that's a 10% response rate or conversion rate. If I measure how many people said no, and I'll get 90%. That's a ratio there. So the amount of people that you talk to will always give you a ratio. So the amount of people that you talk to will always give you a ratio. So it's really important to know that it's something that, I don't know, it's something that you can't really understand, as in why is there a ratio. Like, if you want to think about why is there a ratio that appears, who created it, we don't have that answer for that. We'll never know. But it seems to me that ratio is a law. It's a law of it's just a universal law that exists. So it might not even come up to sales. It might not even be about sales, but it could be about dating. How many people that you talk to is going to determine whether you're going to get a second date or not, right? Another thing could be applying for jobs. How many jobs do you apply for, and how many people say yes, right? So that a ratio will appear. This ratio will appear in everywhere. So if you do something for a certain amount of time, right, a ratio will appear. So if I were to nag at someone to do something, they'll say no. But if you keep doing it over and over again, they'll say fine, right? So a ratio will appear. A ratio is just a universal law that is just created, right? And you don't need to understand why or how it got there. You just need to work it. So this ratio has been existent in sales for a very long time. It's always been there, right? So and the thing is, that should really give you confidence in sales, because if you're struggling to hit sales, if you're unconfident, if you don't know whether you should be in sales, or if you're going through a sales slump, just remember that this universal law is unbreakable. You cannot break this law. It will exist till the end of time, this universal law of ratios. So if you're having a crap time in sales, you're not making enough sales, then what do you need to do to work your ratios? So let's say that you spoke to 100 people and 100 people said no. All right, let's talk to 200 people now, and let's see how many people says yes. So if you do get a yes out of those 200 people, there you go. There's your ratio. Out of 200 people, I get one yes. There's your ratio. So I don't know. For me, I always think that ratios is the great equalizer, because in sales, you're going to get really emotional. You're going to get throw tantrums. You're going to get frustrated. You get under a lot of pressure to hit targets and so forth. There's a lot of things that's going on. And the only thing that seems to balance me out is just understanding the ratios and knowing that the numbers, just work those numbers. Don't worry about anything, what's happened during the day and why things aren't fair. That's a different discussion. But just know that if you were to make 100 phone calls and you've already measured in the past that your conversion rate is 12.5%, then every single day you try and work those numbers. I'm going to make 100 phone calls today. So what I do is every day I send out over 100 emails. This is for particular projects. So, and then I also do another 40 emails that get sent out for this project that I'm working on, which is Cashflow CRM. I'm trying to build up the business there. And then, yeah, I mean, the ratio does appear. And for example, this week I sent out just only 44 cold emails, and I got 1 response. So that was a 2.87%, I believe, conversion rate or response rate. And there you go, ratio does appear. So if you're really comfortable with ratios, if you know that what your ratio is, then every morning you just need to know, you just wake up and just do the work and just let the numbers play itself out. So that's really what I'm trying to say is, if you're going through a hard time in sales, if you don't know what you're doing, just first step one is to measure what your ratios are. So if it's 100 phone calls, if you make 100 phone calls, just make 10 phone calls. If you make 10 phone calls and you get a response, there's your ratio, and just work those numbers. Every day, just work those numbers, and I guarantee you will make sales. So hope you like this video, and I'll see you guys next one. Cheers.